Hello everybody and welcome to a quick look at the exterior of this Admiral Boats Pro Fish 660. Very fine looking boat, nice and shiny looking, nice and white, sitting here on what is a beautiful day in Shoreham. And as you can see, we've got a nice big, it's more than a cuddy really. We've got great big windows here, great for viewing, watchkeeping, etc., which we'll see more very shortly. And we can see at the stern of the boat or towards the cockpit or at the back of the accommodation there, lovely great big cockpit tent, which we'll see in detail in a moment. So just looking down here, you can see we've got a little bit of weed on the boat, but that is pretty negligible to me. That will blast off, no doubt, with a good pressure washer, etc. That will just help the performance. And you can see we've got a nice chined finish that goes kind of, it's not quite chined, but it goes all the way to the front of the boat. So really nice, looks like she'll sea keep well to me. But let's have a look up and along. So we can see here we've got a nice companionway here. So through from the cockpit into the cuddy, through this door or window or companionway, which hinges upwards to allow you out onto the foredeck. And then once onto the foredeck, you've got a reasonably clear, uncluttered area here. We've got a nice strong staghorn here. We've got two really nice strong cleats here, which can be used as fairleads too. So very well fitted out. Looks like a good stainless to me as well, because it looks actually pretty stainless. A decent sized cockpit locker here. Sorry, cockpit locker. I say anchor locker here. Easily openable by one hand, reasonably deep in there. You can see we've got the big bracket fairleads, cleat, etc. to get your bitter end onto, and we've got a Bruce anchor sat there at the end of some chain and line in a good sized locker there, nice and easy to get into as well. There we go, clips all shut, etc. We've got a textured deck for anti-slip. We've got the bow roller there for the anchor to sit in and drop over the front, which is lovely. And then if you come along the port side, sorry, the starboard side, we just have a quick look from top to bottom. So as you can see, we've got a couple of antennae there. We've got the steaming light, we've got the radar reflector, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 rod holders up here, and a nice uncluttered area on top of the coach roof in case you wanted to add anything else. And of course, if we are coming alongside through or around, or if we've taken the cockpit tent down and we're coming along the side decks, or if you've climbed out the companionway here, we have a couple of nice grab handles here, something to hold on to keep us safe and secure, because we don't have any kind of pulpit around the bow of the boat. We do have a little bit of a side deck here as well, so I think with the cockpit tent down, we could amble along there with great care, and holding onto the grab rails here, or the support rails for the rod holders, etc., and obviously the hand holds that I mentioned there too. Looking down towards the boat again, we can see which is nice and white. We've got a nice striped top here. I can't tell if that's paint or vinyl strip from the top. I think it's probably paint or coloured gel coat, but we have got a rubbing straight running all the way round the bow of the boat, all the way down and round to the stern of the boat. So that's really good should we be nestling against high pontoons, high jetties, etc., etc. All very good. Now walking along the starboard side of the boat stern, you can see we've got a lovely big cockpit tent here. We have got a back to it, so that rolls down, will keep you enclosed, and I should think that would be usable at sea with it all enclosed to keep the weather off. You can see we have lovely big windows all over the place. We've got windows at the back as well, so good for watchkeeping at sea, good for light, visibility, etc., etc. Though obviously we can see there have been some repairs here, so we need a new window here. The windows are starting to go, but they're infinitely repairable really. And I should think that with a few small minor repairs around the canvas, which looks not too bad at all, then we should get some more life out of this cockpit tent or canopy tent or whatever you'd like to call it for some time yet. All good. And there's a little close-up of the material there for you. Coming down to the stern of the boat, you can see we've got, I think they're vinyl graphics stuck onto the gel coat there, or onto the black stripe. Here's a continuation of the rubbing strake all the way around the stern of the boat. And just while we're here, we can see we've got the Mercury 115 just tilted and in its little caboose at the back of the boat, and rather like it because we have got the entire gearbox, we've got the propeller, everything is out of the water and away and protected, etc., etc. So that's rather good. Just nestling over on the port side here, you can see we have an outboard bracket there, so that's storage for your for your auxiliary engine if you need one, and I would always recommend that you take one to sea, so that if anything happens to this beast, you've got something that will give you maybe a little bit of propulsion, but at least will keep your head to sea and giving you that control in those adverse conditions. Just looking down to the cockpit, looking at the features, you can see we've got looks like we've got a live bait locker here, a chopping board over here, and we can see we've got a rod holder here in port and starboard, so even more rod holders. Very nice deep cockpit, so high sides, feeling safe inside, made more so even by these grab rails here, which will give us something to hold on to in the cockpit and just raises that height that little bit more to give us that feeling of safety and security. And then just before we jump into the cockpit, we can see we've got this lovely big tent that I mentioned before, windows all the way round, which is great, and the back does roll up too, so we can get the air in if we want to, and we can obviously get in and out when we want to too. So nice big opening there, very useful indeed. And of course, if on a nice sunny day when we've got no wind, adverse weather, etc., we can take all of this down and we've got the wind running through our hair. Very nice indeed. So let's climb over into the cockpit, and if I just turn around and look at the starboard side, as mentioned, nice high coamings here, made high by these grab rails, so I'm feeling like I'm in the boat and I'm cosseted and enveloped by the edges, which is great. And we've made really good use of all of the space, so we've got cockpit locker here, or binnacles here and here, same on the port side here, although this is one long one, so maybe for your boat hooks, etc. We can see into the live bait well here, all very good. We've got stowage underneath here, and looks like a fuel filter under there, and we also have a coalescer under there for the fuel, which is great. And if we just look up, we've got the bilge pump control, and or where the bilge pump is actuated from, for more rod holders. So really well thought out rod holder situation on this boat. Another cockpit locker here, somewhere to chop your fish up, etc. And you can see we've got a textured deck, and beneath the cockpit, I won't open that one because we have two catches there. This one I can open nice and easily, and we can see we've got good storage underneath. There's a spare little mini Bruce anchor there, and lots of storage in the bilge as well. That storage does continue forwards under this one here, so lots more storage in there. And talking about storage, underneath the helm seat and underneath the first mate seat, we've got more storage, lovely and easy to get to. There's some flares in there by the looks of it, not known if they're in date or not, but again, lots more storage and all well thought about in this boat. Lovely. So sitting, just leaning against the transom at the back, looking forwards, you can see we've got a very high cockpit tent, so even the taller amongst us should be absolutely fine. We've got windows all the way around the front, windows around the back, a big opening at the back, so access, egress, great. Going forward, you can see we have windows all the way around the front again, so access looking forward, viewing looking forward is brilliant. So from the helm we can see just about everywhere, so rule 5 of those coal regs, a big tick. We have a companionway at the front here leading out of the forward window onto the foredeck, so we don't need to go around the quite thin side decks or over the top to get to the foredeck for the anchoring, the mooring, the berthing and the alongside stuff, which is great. But let's have a closer look. So we'll start on the starboard side. You can see we've got the helm seat here. Now both the helm and the first mate seat do turn around, so you can steer looking forwards. If you want to, you can turn it around and sit there and watch the fishing bite, no problem. Looks like we have a recliner here as well, so we can recline that out of the way, and we can probably sit here as a bit of a bolster too. We've got the throttle control on the starboard side. We've got the fast idle lever, and I'm sure there somewhere we must have, we've got provision for the kill switch as well. And the wheel there, all good. We're all set up for a single-handed wheel operation if you want it. We have cup holder, electrics panel, engine speed, trim, tilt, stereo, compass down here, and we've got the tabs control here and the VHF. It looks like a DSC VHF to me sitting there. Really like the fact that we've got inside here we've got what are in effect midships cleat, port and starboard. So if you're coming alongside on your own, you may well be that you can just open this, and as we have done here, we've put a line down here straight to a midships cleat opposite here on the jetty. Makes life easier, I think. Very nice indeed. Something to hold on to here both sides, which is really useful too. And once we move forwards, obviously the head height does come down under here, but under here you're going to be sitting, maybe even getting your head down overnight after a hard day's fishing, who knows. But most of the standing headroom is going to be in this area here. Over on the port side, you can see we've got the first mate's seat, almost identical to the starboard side. Upholstery looks good, looks comfortable. This one swivels around as well, so you can watch your rod, you can see your floats dipping, see what's going on. More storage there. We have an extinguisher down there, if you can see it. Locker on the port hand side here, so room in there for your sandwiches, all the rest of your bits and pieces. Port and starboard stereo speakers. You can't see the starboard one at the moment, but there is one opposite here, another cup holder. And then on the interior of the cuddy, you can see we've got lots of space here. I mean, if you're crashing here, little camping bed down there and a sleeping bag, you might be absolutely fine. But if there's a group of mates or fishermen, whoever you are, if there's several of you on board, lots of shelter in here, great visibility out of here. As I mentioned, we have access through the companionway there. Good upholstery in here again, and underneath here we've got a locker port, we have a locker starboard and a lazarette locker forwards, and as you can see, lots of room in there, all self-draining, so somewhere for all your wet gear, etc. And lastly, of course, you can see we've got this lovely big fiddled shelf here, where I'm sure you can squeeze a few of your rods on your bits and pieces. And if I sit forwards and look aft, there's a view towards the helm, the first mate, and the cockpit. So this has been Tim from Boatshed Yacht Brokers, just taking you for a quick look around this boat, just to understand her layout, where things are, what's fitted, and if she might be a boat for you. So thanks for watching, and if you go to boatshedbrighton.com, you'll find lots more pictures, videos, and virtual reality. Have a great day.